Hello, hello, and welcome back to Hitman 2 and the featured contracts. And today's contract will be Garbage Day. And for this one, we can thank Nakor. And he says, I am the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and bang the guy on the head. Revolver twirling optional and welcome. So for this challenge we have 5 targets, all of them garbage men. 2 of them look like a pair of twins here with some cool shades. So I know that most of these garbage men aren't real garbage men. So for this challenge we will be bringing with us our ever trusty lockpick, a silenced pistol, and some coins for distractions. And for this I am going to take 3 attempts to a silent assassin this challenge, and we will begin with the first attempt. So right from the start, off the bat, what we're going to do is locate our 5 targets. Now I happen to know Whittleton Creek quite well, and I happen to know where our 5 targets are already, and the first of which will be at Mr. James Batty's house, or in his garden. So we'll go for him first, as he's all on his lonesome apart from Mr. Batty in the area. So we're going to run straight to Mr. Batty's house, and I'm thinking, how shall I go in? I'm going to attempt to go in via the wilderness area, and we can just vault over the fence at some point, and we can then take out our target. Now ideally we want Mr. Batty out of our way as well, and luckily for us our first target has just left the area, but he will return in a few moments, and that gives us an opportunity to take out Mr. Batty so that he doesn't see anything. He's currently sitting down in a deck chair, so we need to get him to move. So I'm going to use the generator up the side of the shed here, and that will get Mr. Batty's attention hopefully, and we can then get him out of our misery. So come on James, come on down. So when Mr. Batty comes over, I've got to figure out how to get behind him and then render him unconscious. Unfortunately, he's just seen me. So, unfortunately mate, you're gonna have to go. And because you've just ruined my silent assassin run, you can have a few more bullets there as well, just to make sure you're dead. Right, so that is my first attempt ruined. So let's start again, and we will begin our second attempt. So this I thought would be a relatively easy one. It's proving not so at the moment. Let's see how we can do on our second run. So just as I start, I've realized that the exterminator's outfit will get me into Batty's garden unnoticed and unmolested, and I won't be trespassing. So let's change tactics a little bit, and we're going to make our way to the exterminator's van, where we find said exterminator. We're going to render him unconscious. We'll have Mr. Batty's keys while we're here, hide his body. We're going to take his outfit, and now we can freely come and go as we please into Mr. Batty's garden. So make our way through the main gate, around to the back of the house, and hopefully we will find Mr. Batty in his garden. There he is, and he has just sat down in his deck chair, so we're going to need something to get him up with. I did spy what is a fire extinguisher here. That will do nicely. Just check on our target is still out of the way. Good night, Mr. Batty. Thanks for spotting me the last time. So we're going to hide Mr. Batty's body in the garden shed, and then we can just await the arrival of our first target. So once we've got Mr. Batty nicely tucked up, we can go and wait for our first target here. Did I just spot a shovel there? Yes, I did. We'll have that, thank you very much. So the first garbage man, or the garbage collector, will make his way back into Mr. Batty's garden via this gate. You can see he's just outside at the moment, checking the bins. So when he comes back in, I'm going to position myself out of his line of sight. And then when he makes his way into the garden, we're going to render him unconscious before killing him. Just because I'm feeling that little bit extra mean today, so I'm going to bounce him on the head. So here he comes now, and once he's in the garden and that garden gate closed, his days are severely numbered. So there goes the garden gate. We're going to walk up behind the garbage man, knock him out with the shovel, select our silenced pistol, and shoot him right between the eyes. So there we go, 1 target down, 4 to go. Let's find somewhere to hide this guy. We could put him in the shed. I'm hoping there's some bushes or something around. Doesn't appear to be any bushes anywhere. Oh, an axe. But we could drop him in the river if it lets us. Is there anywhere to get him in the river? Yes, there is. So there goes our first body. So everything's running absolutely mustard at the moment. I would like to take that axe with me and take on the rest of the targets with it, but it is an illegal item. So our next 2 targets are in the house next door to Janus's house. They're both also in the garden, relaxing and not really doing their jobs, which is to guard, and their pretend jobs, which is to take out the trash. That's never mind, because the trash is coming to take them out. So once we're through the garden of the house for sale, we're going to hop the fence and into the garden opposite. This is where we would pick up a propane cylinder during the main storyline if we needed to. And the 2 guards are up on the veranda here, and we're just going to make our presence known to them. Don't get up, mate. There we go. So 3 down, 2 to go. Let's get these 2 stashed up somewhere nice and snug. And there is some bushes here, thankfully. So we're just going to drag both of these guys into the bushes, out of sight and out of mind. Come on, mate. Nap times. You'll be much safer in here with all the worms. There you go. So moving on, our last 2 targets are located at the garbage van in the far corner of the map. And through previous playthroughs of this level, I know that these 2 will have a conversation and then move off in different directions before returning. And I'm going to utilize that information. So the plan here is, let them have their conversation, let them wander off, and while they've wandered off, we're going to take out the guard who's on the park bench on the far side of the garbage van at the moment. And when the 2 garbage men return, we're going to use a coin trick to lure each of them in turn around to the far side of the garbage van, where we can snap their necks. So their conversation has now just finished. They are going to move off, and I'm going to make my way around the garbage van, just making sure that they're both moving away. One of them definitely is, the other one's taking his time a little bit. But as soon as that guy on the right there moves off, there he goes, we are going to pull out our coins, throw a coin into the bushes, That should get the guard's attention. He will go and investigate, and we can then sneak up behind him and render him unconscious. So off he goes now. So we're just going to crouch down, enter the bushes behind him, and render him unconscious. No, not like that. 47. Oh, and he got a hit in. Right, don't have that. Take him out. Come on. That's it. And drop to the floor, and then we're going to pounce on him. There we go. And you, sir, have ruined my silent assassin rating and my second run. So you get to have a few presents. Here, hold these. So, 2 attempts down, 2 attempts failed. So let's go for our third and final attempt. And in this run, whether we get the silent assassin or not, we are going to complete the mission. So once again, right from the start, off the bat, we're going to make our way to the exterminator van, because that seemed to work. So we're going to take the exterminator's outfit, and basically we're going to run through exactly as we did before, and then hopefully not experience the punch glitch. So once we get to the exterminator's van, make our way around to the far side, render the exterminator unconscious. We're going to take his keys and his outfit, hide his body in the bushes, and I am going to get a bit more cavalier when it comes to Mr. Batty and our first target, as I know that no one will find their bodies if they're left out. So once we have the exterminator's outfit on, we're going to make our way into James Batty's garden, and we are going to render Mr. Batty unconscious, who helpfully is not sitting in his deck chair, so we can just run straight up behind him, render him unconscious, and we're going to dump his body in the shed here, just in case the garbage man comes back and spots him, and we don't want that to happen. And this time I'm going to use the axe I saw earlier, because the shovel, although was fun, is non-lethal, and the axe is most definitely lethal. So once we have our axe in place, we're going to make our way to the garden gate, await the garbage man to return and the gate to close, and then throw our axe at the garbage man. Lovely. So 1 target down again, 4 to go, and we know what's going to happen next. So we're going to make our way over to our next 2 targets in the garden opposite the house for sale. So straight over the fence, through the garden. There is one guy in the kitchen of this house, and he is by a window, but he's not actually looking out of it. So we can just scoot straight across the garden, over the fence, and straight up to our next 2 targets. Although I am taking a slightly devious line here. Once again, announce our presence and take out our next 2 garbage men. And at this point I was considering, shall I leave their bodies before one of them gets spotted almost immediately. So, you, witness, go away. And your wife there. Oh, you lucky, lucky second times the number. So, we have lost our silent assassin rating, but we will press on. And because we've lost our silent assassin rating, I'm not going to wait these guys out and try coin tricks or anything else. We're just going to eliminate absolutely everyone in the area, including the 2 targets. Oh, a tough nut. There we go. So all that's left to do is make good our escape, and as for you, you can go and all. And if we put on one of the garbage men's outfits, we can use the garbage van as our escape vessel. So there you go, that is the Garbage Day featured contract. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.